Welcome to our webinar on the hospitality industry and its emergence as the top recruiting industry in the world today. This webinar is brought to you exclusively by the Chopras, one of India's largest and most successful global education companies. Our webinar today will provide an insight about the ever-expanding hospitality industry with a peek into studying hospitality in Switzerland, the birthplace of hospitality training. Our keynote speakers this evening are two seasoned experts from HTMI Switzerland, a leading hotel management institute offering top-ranked degrees. Our first keynote speaker is Charles Haynes, academic director who is a hospitality veteran with over 30 years of experience at senior management positions that include Director of Programs and Director of Teaching and Learning in Swiss hotel schools. His extensive industry experience covers a wide range of activities in hotels, restaurants, catering, supplying, and consulting. Our second presenter today is Rohit Bhatia, Director Marketing, an HTMI alumnus with several years of vibrant industry experience. Rohit spearheads HTMI's international relations and placement support initiatives for its graduates. The structure of the webinar today will be in the format of a presentation. Questions will be taken throughout the webinar, so please do take the opportunity to post these via the chat facility as we go along. We will attempt to answer as many of the questions that come in as possible, but guarantee that any unanswered questions today will get a response by email in the coming few days. We hope you enjoy today's webinar, and I will now hand over to Charles and Rohit to officially begin today's event.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Rohit, and I would like to firstly thanks the Chopra for giving us an opportunity to talk to you at the webinar. And I'm sure by the end of the webinar, end of the presentation, you will benefit from expert advice from my side and my colleague Charles. The hospitality industry, its emergence as a top recruiting industry in the world. There is no doubt about it that hotel and tourism industry is one of the world top recruiting industry in the world. So the job and employment opportunities are immense. From last 25 years, I've not seen not even a single student who have not been employed after completion of the course. One of the biggest reasons is there's a huge shortage of manpower. Whether it's in India, whether it's Singapore, whether it's Middle East, whether it's Europe, whether it's US, whether it's anywhere across the world, there is always a shortage of manpower. We get huge demand from the hotel, tourism, and related industries to fulfill the shortage which is going on currently. So there is a continuous request from the industry. The other thing is that there is a very strong support which is required by the government. So we are also contacted by a lot of various government agencies who wants to have trained students from the hospitality tourism industry. Well, hotel, travel, and tourism, largest economic activity in the world. At the moment, there are people traveling all across the world, and there is a huge demand for people to travel. Everybody wants to travel, whether they are different segments, whether they're young people, whether they're students, backpackers, whether they are elderly people or at the middle level people. Everybody wants to travel, and the biggest advantage of traveling is that there is a demand, there is a shortage in the hotel and tourism industry. So I'm going to show you in the next couple of slides what are the advantages of doing this course against some of the other courses which students opt for. There is the growth in the hotel, travel, and tourism industry, and there are various factors contributing that. Consumer lifestyle change. So every young person wants to travel. The time is gone where people did not want to travel, or they want to travel once in a year, twice a year. Now it's a totally different behavior. Everybody wants to travel on short weekends. They want to travel once a month. They want to travel 2 times a year or 3 times. It really depends. You have more free time in your hand, so there's an opportunity to travel more. Now there are in fact the hotels Tariffs have also gone down in many countries. For example, if you pick up Thailand, if you pick up some of the other Asian countries, it is very convenient for Indians to travel across the world. Another good advantage, the big advantage and a good news for Indians are that they are well accepted in the industry. Once you complete the hotel, this is the only industry where you complete the program and the job opportunities are immediately available. In fact, if you see from our track record from last 15 years, in the final year, most of our students get the job, whereas in the other different related industry, whether it's engineering, whether it's general business management, the job opportunities doesn't come so quickly. So in this industry, the biggest advantage for you is that by the time you are already pursuing your program, you get an offer. So we have students in PAS who have 3 to 4 to 5 offers in their hand, and they have to choose which offer they have to pick up. One of the biggest reason is that we have a very strong placement cell, because at the end of the day, when you're spending so much money and when you are coming for this course, it is important that most of the students are looking for a job. So doing a program with us gives you a sure shot sort of a guarantee where you complete the course, and before even you complete your course, you get an employment letter in your hand, because at the end of the day, when parents are spending so much money, you want to return pretty fast on that. So and not even that, I'm going to explain you how the opportunity comes. The opportunity comes because there's a lot of work placements involved in this. You'll be learning a lot. There are various different kind of support which is awarded, which is supported by HTMI. Okay, the growth in the hotel and travel industry. So I'm going to pass to my colleague Charles, who will be talking about the next slide, which is very interesting for you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. So let's go back to the topic, the hospitality industry, its emergence as the top recruiting industry in the world. So the question is, why is it the top recruiting industry in the world? Let's look at a global scale, and let's look at the forecast we have for this industry and why jobs are there and available for you. Our industry contributes $7.5 billion in 2014. That's 277 million jobs were created in our industry. The growth in 2015 was 3.7%, so it outstripped the global economy. So therefore, what that means is that you are wanted as industry experts. Who are these people that are actually spending the money, who are actually traveling? There's interesting areas. So first of all, we have the older generation are much more travelers than they used to be. These are the baby boomers from the 45 to 64-year-old range. They're now ready, they travel more, they're affluent, and they're hungry to travel, and they spend more time on travel. Customers are becoming more demanding as they travel, and therefore the luxury upscale sector is increasing to meet those demands. If we look at sport, for example, Formula One, I'm sure you're all well aware of the Formula One, international football, the Olympics, the Commonwealth Games, and of course your cricket is of course great sporting events which attract tourists from around the world. Other areas, of course, we've got events. If we look towards Dubai 2020 as an example, Dubai is needing 160,000 more hotel rooms by 2020. What that means is a 100,000 increase. What that means is more jobs for you and more opportunities for you. The global B2B business is growing. It means there are more business travelers, so therefore hotels are there to accommodate these people. We see a massive growth in our hotel industry. If we look at the top 3 hotel companies today, Intercontinental, Marriott and Hilton, between them there's 12,000 properties and 2 million rooms, and they're growing, and that's only 3 of many, many hotel groups. Of course, we look at also the expansion and in the emerging countries. If we look at India, for example, India is requiring 150,000 hotel rooms now just to meet the demand of the inbound tourist. Indian tourists are going out more and more as well to see the world. And of course, what happens there is new brands are becoming into the fore, for example, lifestyle brands. What we're also seeing as we move through, we also see hospitality, not only in the emerging markets, but also it's also recognized as an effective tool to salvage floundering economies. If we have an example, global revenue is 550 billion by 2016. So what that means for hotel groups is in the struggling, also in the emerging markets, there are many opportunities there for growth, and that means opportunities for you as hospitality graduates. Some of the biggest growth areas are in the Asia Pacific. If we look at examples, as I mentioned, India and China are showing significant rise. And if we take a quote, my favorite quote from the president of Starwood Hotels, half of humanity is middle class, and this middle class needs hotels. And this is very true in our industry. What we're also seeing is developing markets. They're needing you highly qualified graduates. So as Rohit mentioned, when you finish school, when you finish a hospitality program, the opportunities are there for you, especially hospitality programs coming from Switzerland. Did you realize that global hospitality is the second largest employer apart from governments? And this industry, to give you an example, it's going to be by 2025, 357 million jobs in our industry. But at the moment, it's facing a shortfall. It faces a shortfall of 14 million jobs already now. We're only going to create 10 million over this year, and we're needing 14 million. So you can imagine the challenges facing travel and tourism, human capital. Our industry is facing problems that we need graduates. 37 out of 46 countries are showing a deficit of talent. That could be your talent. And travel and tourism over the next 10 years, compared to other industries, is the biggest industry showing the need for talent. So who are the top recruiters for hospitality students? We look at the multinational hotel companies. I've already mentioned Intercontinental, I've already mentioned Marriott, but there are many, many hotel companies, Hyatt, for example, Fairmont Group, the Taj Group. All these groups are looking for hospitality graduates to fill their hotel rooms. Hotels are not the only areas. We look at the events organizations which are looking for service-oriented hospitality graduates. A big area in our industry is the events industry. We also look at meeting and events, another area that's requiring graduates from hotel schools. The travel operators. Remember, hospitality is in the service sector, so travel operators are also looking for graduates from hotel schools, and even banks and other large organizations who have meetings and events are also looking for hotel graduates. So your opportunities are endless in our industry. I'd now like to go on and hand over to Rod, because Rod's going to now talk about Switzerland and why study in Switzerland and why choose Switzerland as a destination.
Thank you very much, Charles. Oh yeah, we got now a couple of pop-in comments in, and there are a lot of queries lying up. So I would like to address one by one. The first query is from Amit. Amit is asking a very interesting question. What kind of academic and personal skills are required to make a career in the hospitality industry? Amit, if you are, let's say, a high school student, or if you're a graduate, the skills are very similar. You need to have a basic communication, basic English, which is very important to communicate in this industry, since you will be also talking to a lot of foreigners, a lot of guests all across the world. So the English language is very, very important. The other important aspect we're looking within you is that you have to be positive. If you're positive, you're ready to accept the challenge, you're interested to grow, you're interested to travel across the world, you're interested to travel anywhere in the world, then I would say this industry is perfect for you. We also have a lot of students who are introvert, who are shy. And for them, I think this industry is also ideal, because this is a place where they become extrovert, they start meeting people, they start talking to people, and this industry is all about people. So it's a people's industry. The more you talk, the more you learn, the more you gain experience internationally. It is easier for you to get jobs. It is easier for you to get employment. It is easier for an HR management or big companies to hire you. So all these aspects, you don't have to worry about this. You start from scratch with us, and then we ensure that by the time you complete your first year or second year and third year, you are absolutely perfect and ready for the industry. I've got another interesting question from Suman. Thank you very much for asking for this question, Suman. It's a very smart question. Suman is asking, what are the different areas of work in which hospitality industry jobs offer? Suman, my colleague Charles gave you 20 areas where you can work. I can give you 60 more actually, but I wouldn't be spending 60. I'll be telling you about another 10 to 15 more options where you can get your jobs. For example, hotel is the biggest area. You have the different departments in the hotel. You have kitchen, you have front office, you got a marketing area, you got events in department in this. Then you got a housekeeping area. You got a back office. You have finances. A lot of people comes into the HR. It means if you want to hire people, that's another area you can be in. Then you have a lot of restaurants. There are different kind of restaurants, theme restaurants, Asian restaurant, Mediterranean restaurant. You can set up your own restaurant, or you can work in the restaurant in the beginning. Catering companies, they are very large catering companies, because now, as you know, in India, people doesn't want to serve. They don't want to hire. They don't want to go into a 5-star hotel. There are a lot of people wants to do outdoor catering. So a lot of marriages, functions. Even in Europe, even USA, people are hiring professional caterers to serve food. And then you got a food company, you got leisure centers, entertainment and conference. So a lot of entertainment center, like for example, one of the world's biggest, largest entertainment is a casino and world parks. They are the world parks, they are water parks, Disneyland, Disney World. So these are the places where a lot of Indian students are getting into. Hospitals, again, I know that huge amount of Indian students are required in the hospital, and they're paid fantastically very high. You wouldn't believe the package is huge. There are big hospitals in India, for example. Apollo is there, Escorts, they all want people from the industry. Then there are international Max, and there are also other international hospitals across the world where a lot of Indians are accepted. Then we got a heritage, so there are a lot of heritage hotels which are now converted, and people want to work in the heritage hotel. Tour operator, travel agents, airline, you can be a ground staff, transport authority, government need. For example, HTMI has been, we've been asked by big government departments in Singapore, in Dubai, in Saudi Arabia to support the government. So they need manpower, they need trained people from the industry. So they all are coming to HTMI in Switzerland, and they want people. And unfortunately, we are not able to fulfill the gap, because there's a huge amount of, tremendous amount of employment which is required by this industry. So we are always short of right people. So the demand is so huge that you can't even believe it. I've got another very interesting question from Sonia. Sonia is asking, which countries in Asia other than India have registered the highest growth in the hospitality industry? I will call it Singapore. Singapore has about 22 million people arriving, each tourist arriving each year. So there's so much of demand, and within the next 1.5 years, the government is building 30 new 5-star hotels. So there's so much of demand that you can't believe it. And the good news for you guys is that we have a Singapore campus coming up with it this year, and we've got a very strong HR office also in Singapore. So there'll be a strong support given to all our graduates who are starting with us in Switzerland, and placements in Singapore. Then we got also very strong placement office in Dubai. We got also very strong placement office in US and other part of the Europe. So if you're once you're an HTMI graduate, I would say the job opportunities are immense for you. There is no dearth of jobs, and you don't have to worry. That's the least part where you have to worry. So now I'm going to come on why choose Switzerland. Now this is the most important question. Why choose tourism, hospitality and tourism in Switzerland? To be very honest, Switzerland is like a Makkah and Medina. This is the birthplace of hospitality. The first hotel school in the world was set up 150 years ago. So since then, Switzerland has become very world famous. In fact, Australia, UK, New Zealand, US, they all came, I would say, 50, 60 years or 70 years after Switzerland. So that's the biggest advantage. The other biggest advantage is the practical part. Here, the biggest advantage is that every year you get an opportunity to study 5 months, and next 5 to 6 months you're working in the industry. And it's a paid, it's not free. So it's not like a part-time in other countries. It's a full-time job opportunities, unlike other countries. So the advantage is that every year you study, and then second year, and then again you work for 5 to 6 months and you paid. And this is the home to some of the best institutions in the world. So the top institutions in the world are all located in Switzerland, and we are among the top 5, I would say. Apart from the chocolates and watches, the Swiss delivers world-class international education. So it's very highly regarded. I'll give you an example. If you pick up any top 5-star hotel, you go anywhere in the world, you'll find the GM GM or the top manager, either in the restaurant or in the front office, have a Swiss background, because all the hotel industry, whether it's JW Marriott, whether it's Four Seasons, it's Oberoi's or Taj or IHG Group, or it's Holiday Inn, you Intercontinental, Hilton, you pick up any five-star hotel, they all prefer Swiss graduates, and HTMI is one of the first choice. So, for example, last year we had a huge amount of HR companies coming to our campus, picking up students, and they need more and more students every time. Switzerland is a perfect place to study hospitality and tourism. Why? Again, I'm going to emphasize it's a world famous Swiss ethics and the quality. The quality is so high. I would say I was reading an article last week in a magazine, which is the happiest country in the world. It was stated Switzerland. So people are very happy. People are very helpful. There are a huge amount of tourists who are coming to Switzerland, where we are located. We are located in a beautiful canton, beautiful city called Lucerne, which gets almost second highest tourists in the entire Switzerland. So the possibility of getting practical training, possibility of learning there is immense. It's unbelievable. And just for your information, Switzerland is divided into 4 different areas. It's French, German, Italian, and Romanish. So about 67% of the population people speak German. About 16% of the population people speak French, and there are a little bit of Italian. So for good news for you students is that you have an opportunity to learn foreign languages. So we have Indian students who speak German language, and they even pick up French language. And believe me, if you can speak 2 languages, you are accepted around the world. It's very easy to get you placed. So I'm going to touch base on the Swiss academic program. Again, here we got a very strong academic program. They offer the chance to study is an exotic while picking up internationally recognized qualifications. So Swiss education is recognized around the world. It is not only in, I would say, in respect well in Europe, it is well respected in Australia. If you take a Swiss diploma and a Swiss degree, you go to UK, you are accepted. In Singapore, in US, anywhere in the world, if you have a Swiss qualification, you are well respected. And especially the hotel industry love to have students from Switzerland, to be very honest. Provide high level of credentials with a unique Swiss hospitality touch. The hospitality touch is brilliant. It's extremely well. They teach you very closely, unlike other countries where you have 50 students, 60 students in one class. So in Switzerland, they believe in a small classroom, about 20-25. It's a more personal touch, and at the end of the day, you learn much more compared to the other countries. Equally committed to the modern trend and old world. And it's a beautiful blend with the modern what's going around in the world now and a traditional way of practical training, unlike other countries where they only talk about the theoretical thing. So Switzerland training is very practical, very focused, and there is a lot of detailing involved in this particular program. And this kind of training you cannot get anywhere in the world, that's for sure. We have students coming from Australia, because students coming from New Zealand, they're coming and joining a higher program, because students coming from US, we have students coming from top British universities, they like to come and join our program because we are unique. They get fantastic comments from our existing students. We got thousands of existing students now working all across the world, and they are referring huge amount of students to us, and that's again a very strong source of alumni network. So your job opportunities becomes very secure once you are part of HTMI alumni network. Now it talks about. Now I've got a few more questions popping in. A very interesting question. Again, Sahil is asking me a question. How does Switzerland compare to the overseas study destination for the Indian students? Well, I would say Indian students gel very well in Switzerland. It's a very friendly environment, and Indians, as you see, there are a lot of movies being shot in Switzerland. All the top Bollywood movies are shot in Switzerland. So to be very honest, the Swiss government, the Swiss tourism board, the Swiss people, they love Indians because you bring huge amount of revenue into the country. And in fact, I know there are a lot of Indian restaurants there, so you don't have to worry about your food. That's the only concern with people. Indian students think, where do I get my food? So you'll be taken care in the college. All your meals, breakfast, lunch, dinner is taken care by students. You have to cook, you have to serve. So we give you the responsibility that you do everything by yourself. So practically you become manager from the day one. Now when I come to the internship, the internship is the most important part of it. Now, so I hope this resolves the first question. Now, Pankaj is asking another very interesting question. How is Swiss culture and the society? I already answered this. They accept Indians. They love Indians. Even if you go to the tourist spots, you find Hindi written in a lot of tourist spots. So, you can imagine how much they respect the Indian culture. And then there is no discrimination. That's the best part of Switzerland. There is no discrimination. I've been there last 25 years, and it's a beautiful culture, and they accept all the international community very well. The weather is again very beautiful. I mean, people who love snow. There's a place you can we are very close. We are in a very beautiful area, and you can actually go there and skiing. You can enjoy the snow. You can play in the snow. There are a lot of sports snow games which you can do it over here. And then there are people who likes to bicycling. We got a beautiful bicycling track. We have a very nice swimming pool within the campus. So outside it's snowing, inside you can swim. It's a beautiful environment within the campus. Then we got a lot of sports area. We have a nice bar, training, fitness center. So it's the whole world is within the campus for you guys. So you don't have to worry about it. And there's another question again popping up by Gaurav. Gaurav wants to ask me, do Swiss Institute provide language support to international students? Yes. The medium of instruction is English, so you don't have to worry. Everybody talks in English. That's a common language, so we don't promote any other foreign language except talking English. But yes, we teach German language as a part of the course, so you'll be learning German language. And then obviously I have students who are working in the French speaking or Italian speaking, so you can learn multiple languages. See, if you want to be successful in the hospitality industry, it's all about learning languages. I speak 2 languages, so it's easier for me to go anywhere in the world and get used to with that culture. And it's very easy for Indians to learn German and French, to be very honest. We teach you from scratch, don't worry about that. Then I've got another very interesting question from Rohit. I mean, that's namesake. Rohit is asking me, how does Switzerland compare to the, this is Abhinav, what is the average cost of living? Well, to be honest, your program includes your accommodation, your meals, your tuition, your books, insurance, everything is taken care. So you don't have to worry. All cost is covered. So what you have to do is concentrate on your education and then work and gain some part of your fee structure. That's the benefit here. And again, I mean, Rohit asking another question. Since Switzerland is not an English-speaking country, how much language barrier? To be honest, there is no language barrier. Everybody talks English. It's very smooth. You go any big city center, they all speak English language. But we encourage students to learn foreign language. We encourage you to learn German language. The more you speak, the better fluent you become. Well, I've got a couple of more questions. There's a huge line of questions, but I think I'm going to go on and probably will reply you some questions at the later stage. I'm going to pass my next slide to my colleague Charles, who will discuss with you about the goal of internships.
Thank you, Rohit. Okay, student. Okay, team. We're going to look now at internships. Do we actually offer internships in Switzerland? And the answer is yes, we do. The important thing with our program, especially at HTMI, is we have an undergraduate program over 4 semesters. We have postgraduate and master's programs which cover 1 semester. Typically, our undergraduate program are for students that are wanting to learn the industry. That's 4 semesters. That gives you 4 opportunities to do a training. You're able to do a training after every 6 months in our industry. For postgraduate masters, these are career changers or students coming as hotel graduates from hotel schools. These are 1-year programs, that's 6 months at school and then 6 months training. So every student has the opportunity to work in Switzerland after they have studied for 6 months. So what that means is not only do you get a chance to work full-time, but you also get the opportunity to be paid in Switzerland. And Switzerland is regarded as the highest paying training in the world. Just to give you an idea, students who study the program and work in Switzerland, the typical monthly salary is a minimum is 2,160 Swiss francs gross per month. So you can work that out. The Swiss franc to the rupee is about 1 to 70, so 1 Swiss franc is 70 rupee. So you can work out how much that is going to be as a gross salary. Of course, you have accommodation costs, you have your meal costs on top of that. So what you would put in your pockets typically after those costs is approximately somewhere between 900 and 1,000 Swiss francs per month for you to enjoy yourself in Switzerland, see the country, see also Europe. This is also an advantage. Of course, you're learning German language at school on top of many other subjects, and that German language will help you as you travel as well, but especially as you're working. What is unique about our program and why, of course, the training opportunities are there is that we combine this professional experience that you're getting, this typical Swiss professional experience. We combine, of course, management skills and, of course, research at HTMI. And that makes our students highly regarded in the industry and demanded. Okay, I'd like to hand over to Rod. Rod is now going to talk about your career prospects. So when you finish school, Rod, you'd like to...
Okay, thank you very much, Charles. Well, this is the most important, I would say, slide, and each and every student wants to know what's my career prospect after completion of my Swiss education, after completion from HTMI. I mentioned already in past that the students, once you graduate, your job opportunities becomes very smooth and very easier because we get about 30 to 40 companies around the world from all our campuses, and they all want to have our Swiss graduates. As I said, I explained you one of the biggest reason is that you are a Swiss graduate, you understand the foreign languages, you are working each year, unlike in other countries we're doing a part-time job. So it is very important to do a full-time job which you will be getting at the full-time training which you will be getting in Switzerland. The Swiss students are preferred by employers and the industry. As I said, whether it's Australia, whether it's UK, whether it's US, we have students graduating in the final year, and all the multinational companies, all the hotel companies around the world, they select you. You don't have to worry about your jobs. It'll be all secure, taken care of. It's almost 100% guaranteed, unless and it is all supported very strongly by HTMI. The top, as I already explained, the top GM wants to have Indian students because of the English language, because of the flexibility. They are very soft-spoken. They are very well manners and well cultured, so they are easily accepted in the hotel industry. We have, as I said, we got a very strong placement cell in Dubai. We got a very strong placement cell in Europe, in Singapore, and they all want Indian students, and obviously with the international background, with the Swiss experience. So I have a lot of, I'm getting few queries now, a few pop-in coming up, and there's a very interesting and important question which I want you to hear very clearly. What are the post-study work options available? This is the first question when I meet Indian students. They like to ask, how do I get jobs? Do I get placements? Where do I get placements? It's an extremely important question, so you have to hear it very clearly. Once you complete the program, our experience of last 20 years says 99, not even 99, I would say 100%, everybody gets an offer. If you are a Swiss graduate, we have huge American companies coming and accepting students. We got companies from Europe, we have companies from Asia, we have companies from Singapore, we have companies from Malaysia, we have companies from Dubai, from Bahrain, from all around the world. They're coming to us and they want our students. So by the time you're in your final year, we ensure and make sure that all of you get placements and you're easily observed by the industry. And another big advantage, if you are a Swiss graduate, there is a point system. If you are a Swiss graduate and if you apply, let's say, for immigration to Australia, immigration to New Zealand, immigration to Singapore, to be honest, and immigration to US, with the Swiss graduate always get highest points. So which means in the immigration eyes, you are well respected because you're Swiss graduate, you're serious, and your job and employment and a PR becomes much easier and faster. I have applied a huge amount of, to be honest, Swiss graduates into Singapore, and the government of Singapore have accepted our ex-students, our graduates application because they are Swiss background, so they have been preferred much more than the other nationalities. So similarly, many other countries, whether it's USA, Canada, New Zealand, they all love Swiss graduates. They respect Swiss graduates. So if you are a graduate of HTMI, if you're a graduate in Switzerland, the employable possibilities are much more higher. The PR permanent residence is also very higher for you, and it is easier and easily accepted around the world. Well, I've got another very important question. Nikhil is asking one more question, which I'll go through it. It talks about what is the average starting salary and the level that hospitality graduates can expect after completion of the program. Again, this is a very important question. Normally, if you're a graduate, I'll take an example of an HTMI graduate. An HTMI graduate, if he completes the program, let's say if he goes to US, the starting salary is between 2,500 to 3,000 US dollars. The starting salary. Let's say if you come to Singapore, the starting salary is again between 2,500 Singapore dollars to 3,000, which is about 1.5 lakh, 2 lakhs. If you go into cruise lines, your starting salary is about again 2 lakhs, approximately. So about 24 lakhs in a year you can earn in a cruise line, and we have in past huge amount of students gone into cruise lines. So practically within 1.5 year you can actually recover your entire 2 years or 3 years cost, and it's tax free. So you can see the world, you can go around anywhere in the world, and it's tax free. So this is the best way. We have young students who are 21, 22 go into cruise line and start working in that industry. So as I said, it depends. India is again a different ball game. So my suggestion for you guys is that once you complete the program, I'll recommend you to work around the world, take an advantage of the placement sale of HTMI, work for a few years around the world, and if you want to come back to India, then you have an option to come back to India. We will also guide you step by step that which we do not encourage you to go and work in the restaurant trade. So once you complete your education, we will get you an employment in a 5-star hotel. That's our motto, and that too with a chain, because once you're working with a chain of hotel, it is easily to transfer from one country to another. For example, we've got another hotel school in India, which is part of HTMI. Here, everybody again gets into a 5-star hotel, and we have many students in IHG group in India. Now they've taken a transfer to London. Some of them have taken transfer to Singapore. Some of them have gone to US. So the transfer options becomes much easier. See, once you're our students, we're going to guide you in a very proper manner, and we make sure that you all get employment at the end of the day. That's our motto, nothing else. We want to give you good education. We want to give you a very strong support, a very strong platform, and also, obviously, the employability is the most important factor. You are joining us, okay? So, well, I would like to forward, I hope that this information was useful for you, and you can even pass it to your friends and your colleagues, and then I'm going to pass the next slide to my colleague, Charles.
Okay, thank you, Rod. And just to wrap up, ladies and gentlemen, just want to finish off. When we're looking at, we've talked about the industry, we talked about Switzerland, and we talked about Swiss hotel schools, and of course, since we're from HTMI, we also talk about HTMI. And when you're looking at different options in hotel schools in Switzerland, some of the important things to look at is, are their programs validated by respected agencies? Do they offer postgraduate, undergraduate degrees? Do they offer trainings? Do they offer career placement? These are important questions that you should ask. If we look at our school, for example, we're accredited by EDUQUA, the Swiss Quality Agency. We also have British Accreditation Council accreditation, which is part of the European Quality Association. Our programs are also accredited by the Institute of Hospitality. So we have a number of accreditations which actually support the quality of our programs. Importantly, we offer undergraduate, postgraduate degrees. For postgraduate students, these are typically people, could be you, that are finishing a hotel school and wanting to go on to higher studies, or students that are career changers. Maybe they don't like their industry they're in now and want to go into hospitality. These are the sorts of opportunities that you can have, and certainly at HTMI we can offer those opportunities. I talk about an opportunity, we've got our last slide there just to wrap things up. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. And the first step, if we look at opportunity, opportunity is like a stick on a river, and don't let that opportunity pass. Pick up that stick. That stick happens to be Switzerland and coming to HTMI. We want to thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your contribution today, and maybe we can have some more questions coming in. Thank you.
Okay, I've got a couple of questions. Sakshi Gupta is asking another question. Will there be anything related to the event sector also in the session? Events, HTMI awards 2 degrees. It's a double degree with us. That's the biggest advantage. You get a BA degree in hotel and events management. Plus, you also get a BSc degree in hotel and tourism management. So we cover a huge amount of events in the campus. In fact, we are one of the highest events organizing campus, I would say, in the world. We do about 100 events a year. So practically every week you have 2 events which you have to manage by yourself. Then we got another question by Sanpreet Singh. Sanpreet is asking, I'm looking for travel and tourism management in European country. Main thing is the language problem. Well, we have our majority of our program is hospitality, tourism, and travel. Certainly, you will be learning a lot of the hotel and some part of the tourism and travel education. And to be honest, the language is not a problem because, as I said, in Switzerland, everybody speaks English language, and certainly we want you to learn German language also as a part of your program, which will be very beneficial for you. Then we got another question. After graduation, it is advisable to get work experience before going for post-graduation? No. I would say we would prefer people who have done simple graduation can come to our post-graduation, and within the post-graduation we give you academic study, and you also gain work experience 6 months with us. So we have, I would say, majority of our simple students who are from simple graduate from a normal university comes into our post-graduation. Those who have done hotel management, yes, of course, we will recommend them a small practical training and some work experience in India, and then they can come and do a master's program with us. Then we got another question from Nitish. Nitish is asking, does HTMI have a postgraduate course for hotel management? Yes, we do have a postgraduate course. We also have a specialization course in the culinary management in kitchen. So you can learn culinary, bakery, confectionery, chocolates, cookie, and a European kitchen with us, which is our postgraduation program, which is 1 year. So you do 5 months of academic study, and 6 months we put you in the kitchen where you work and gain experience in the specialized area, whichever of your choice. Then we got another question by Sapna. Sapna Malik, she's asking, can you please name the countries offering best hospitality courses? Sapna, Switzerland. You can't beat. It's one of the best country in the world where you can do. It's the best country in the world where you can do hotel and tourism management, and I said job opportunities becomes much higher once you are a Swiss graduate. Everybody wants in the hotel industry Swiss graduates, and if you go and do some survey, ask who's a GM, what's the background of any GM in India as well, you find majority of the GMs have some of the other Swiss experience. Now, what is the entrance requirement? Well, the entrance requirement is pretty straightforward. If you are if you are pursuing 12th class, or you've done your 12th class, then you have to submit all your mark sheets, your certificate. You have to also fill up the applicant form and have it sent to the Chopras office in your respective city. If you are a graduate, then you have to give us your bachelor's degree, photocopy of your degree, and along with your other transcripts and mark sheets, and your passport copy is very important. Make sure your passport is valid, or if you don't have a passport, you must apply it. It's pretty quick to get the passport these days. Then we got another question from Sanpreet Singh. How can we earn in Switzerland while studying? Well, okay, we just explained you. I'll be happy to explain you once again. In Switzerland, we don't allow part-time jobs. It's all full-time. So the biggest advantage is that the first 5 months you study in the campus, you don't work, and after completion of your first 5 months, then you are working for next 6 months. When you're working for next 6 months, you're earning a salary every month. We put you with a good hotel, property, or a top restaurant where you work there for 6 months. Every month, as per the law, as per the Swiss law, your employer where you work, your restaurant owner or your hotel owner, have to pay you a minimum salary, which is about 2,000 Swiss francs, is about 1.5 lakh rupees a month. Net, which you save every month, is about close to about 1 lakh rupees. And you work, which is about 12 to 1,300 Swiss francs. So you work for 6 months, so you save about between 6 to 7 lakh rupees you can save, which is almost more than 1/3 of your total fees. Then we have a couple of more questions. Okay, then I'm going to put the couple other questions. I will forward it to my colleague Charles, who will be very happy to answer the further questions.
Okay, thank you, Rod. We have a question here from Anuba Jayan, which is a good question because he's comparing the hotel schools in Switzerland. The schools like Lyon and Les Roches are very expensive. Are there any cheaper tuition options but good in terms of education? Yes, you're right. Lyon and Les Roches are expensive. You need to spend somewhere around about 130,000 over a 4-year period in order to get a Swiss degree. A lot of money. Are there any cheaper options? I can only talk about our school at the moment. HTMI is a very good option. Okay, first of all, let's talk about the quality education. In terms of our degrees, we have a Bachelor of Science degree, which is validated and awarded by Ulster University, ranked in the top 20 hospitality schools in the UK. We also have our Master's degree, which is validated and awarded by Edinburgh and Napier University. Now, both those degrees are coming from the business schools of these institutions. As I mentioned before, we're also accredited by the British Accreditation Council. Our programs are accredited by the Institute of Hospitality and, of course, EDUCA. So our programs are defined by industry, defined by academics, defined by education as high quality. Are we more expensive than Lyon and Les Roches? Certainly not. You're spending over 4 semesters, you spend less than 100,000 francs, so you're saving yourself between 30,000 and 40,000 francs over your program by studying with us. If you think about the work opportunity at the end of each semester, you can save yourself a reasonable amount of money on the tuition there. So that's a good opportunity for you. Another question comes in from Balvinder Pal Singh. Balvinder says, how much is the postgraduate diploma programs flexible for students from other backgrounds other than hospitality? Balvinder, our postgraduate programs are designed for career changes. So you mentioned that you might be in engineering or in sciences and you want to get into hospitality. We are looking for exactly these types of students who are career changing into hospitality. Our postgraduate programs are designed to be 1 semester plus a training period. That means we push you right from the beginning, because you are postgraduate level, you have already been through university studies, and therefore through 1 semester we can give you all the tools required for hospitality and then get you into an opportunity to work. Should you then pursue a master's degree, you're then able to come back and pursue a Master of Science degree with us. So within 2 semesters you could actually have a Master of Science from Edinburgh Napier University and have a UK qualification and a Swiss qualification as well. So that's something that you might want to think about there. I have another question there. Is there any age restriction to apply for this course? In terms of age restriction, undergraduate programs, you need to be 18 years old, so finish high school. So we take 17, but if you're turning 18 within the year, that's really the only restriction in terms of age. In terms of postgraduate students, we're typically looking at students that are 20, 21 years old. I'll now hand over to Rod. I think Rod's just signaled me. He's got a couple of questions he'd like to answer from the audience. So Rod, over to you.
Thank you very much, Charles. Appreciate it. We have, in fact, some very interesting questions. Another question which has been asked by Saeed Jaffrey. Saeed, your question is the English, your fluency in English is not that good, and does it make any difference between you and the other who's good in English? Well, what we recommend, Saeed, that before you come there, you can join the English-speaking program here. If you do, let's say, even if you brush up your English for 2 months in any of the English-speaking course, either you go to British Council or any nearby recognized English-speaking language center where you can brush up your English and come and do the program. In case if you want to come a little earlier than our course, we do have an English program which is for students who want to improve their English. They can come a little ahead of the intake starts, and then you can enroll yourself in the hospitality English, and then we can transfer you to the next level. That way we can help you to improve your English language, and then when you start after this English semester, you come into the normal program along with the other students, and your English is almost at the bar, at the same level. Well, there's another question by Manmohan Singh about the specific percentage requirement. Well, in the hospitality industry, let me tell you, there is no specific percentage required. It means it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you are a 45% or 75%, but your English level is important. You should have an adequate English language. Sufficient English language is required. But obviously, if you have 50 and above, it is always recommended. Since it's a fast-track program. And it's very intensive learning, so I would recommend students who have about around 50% and above should apply. But if, let's say, if you have a lesser than 50%, we also have an English speaking course where you can come and enroll, or you try for an IELTS score and then you can apply for a normal program. So we have students, we do have weaker students where we take them in advance and prepare them to be ready for the next class. So we support you in all the manners. There is another question. Sanpreet Singh is asking, IELTS required. Well, if you have an IELTS score, then we can it's always good if you have an IELTS. If you don't have an IELTS, we have an English examination test, and the Chopras can certainly help you to get into a program through one of the English medium tests. But generally, it's a 5-band IELTS, which is minimum required to start the program. Okay, now there's another question by Saeed. Is a Swiss degree valid all around the world? Yes, it is indeed. The Swiss degrees and Swiss graduates are well respected all around the world. there's no issue at all whether you go to US, whether you go to Australia. As I said, even Singapore government or whether it's Australian government or New Zealand, they all respect Swiss graduates. So your PR options in any other country becomes much more higher if you're applying from India compared to that. Okay, well, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your patience, and I hope this information was helpful, and we wish you good luck for your future. If you need any query, please get back to the Chopras, and I would like to thank you, the Chopras and the entire team, for setting up the webinar, and thank you for all the efforts. I wish you a great day and great life and fantastic career in the future. Thank you very much. And I would like to hand over this to the Chopras.
Thank you for joining today's webinar. We hope that you found it useful. Thanks particularly to those who contributed with their questions, as this helps make the webinar more interactive and is also a very important part of the learning process. We are conscious that some of you may not have received answers to your questions this evening. Please rest assured that you will get a response by email very shortly. Today's event is part of the Chopras 2015 series of webinars. More webinars will take place over the coming months on a variety of interesting topics by experts in the respective fields, such as today, and we would encourage you to join in and listen. All of our webinars will be advertised on our website, so please keep checking for further details. Once again, thanks to each one of you for tuning in. We look forward to connecting with you again soon.